Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 13th DSFTWA Invitational Open round of 8. So our teams are getting ready. It's Team Pyjama Warriors versus Team But We Agreed. Starting on Team Pyjama Warriors, it's going to be Nova captaining Team 1, and captaining Team 2 is going to be Joe. We had some substitutions given the fact that Agreed isn't available to play, I believe, and we can see the lobby filling in with Monkeygurly subbing in for Team Pyjama, and there will be opening with Triple Terran versus the TZT from Team But We Agreed. And on Team 2, it's Joe, Euweb, and Rebornbee. With me, joining you tonight and streaming the games with me and co-hosting is our friend Thunder. Thunder, good evening, morning, afternoon.
Yeah, good morning. It's early for me here, but it'll be a fun game to watch.
Yeah. Well, we see here the new stuff creeping, the new Triple Terran stuffs utilized by Grumpy Kitty and some other teams in some scenarios, and also Kachar's team in the round of 8 this tourney where they meet. I can't remember now the team names, but yeah, the Triple Terran in action. We'll see which of the 3 Terrans on the Team Pyjama decides to go tier 2, which probably one of them will. Here we do see the bottom team opting for a Zerg on position 2, so they'll try to break the Triple Terran with their TZT. Do you think maybe the Team 2 goes using the maybe advantage Zerg has early game versus Terran to maybe try and go for an early push to claim the cannon?
Yeah, for
like
sure.
Lingbane bio or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Lingbane's definitely very strong versus Triple Terran, but they the Terran could still get that stack off the Zerg if they don't get Mutas out quick enough. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, so instant tier 2 from EskimoeJoe here. We will see Gas and Lings from Euweb going tier 1, and we see Nova and Hawkeye going for tier 2 as well. So the top team double Terran going tier 2. So basically the idea behind the Nova's tier 2 here is if there is a leak, it's going to be Euweb Zerg units, so it's easier for the air to stack on that than on some angry Terran going Marines on you. But yeah, Hawkeye's tier 2 versus Zerg here, so as well avoiding playing bio versus. Kinda get the feeling that apart from playing Roach Queen or something like that, everything else Zerg goes is good versus bio, so Lingbane or Ravagers or Lingbane Muta or any variation of those usual units are good. So Hawkeye opting to go for tier 2, making some Hellbats and Widow Mines, so it's going to be ground mech from the Hawkeye.
So it looks like we're going to see a scan on Joe here. Looks like they're
but
witnessing
I think they
the
can
T2.
see when they scan the finish, when it finishes, so I think they can see the animation when the tech research finishes.
Yep.
Anyway, Monkeygurly making 2 Marines just yet versus only 2 Reapers from Joe, who under scan didn't want to build anything. Of course, he's in a Terran versus Terran, which is very like rock paper scissory. So you do not want to make under scan and then just make your opponent just counter you. Okay, so no Banelings here just yet from Euweb, but now seeing the mines and And the Hellbats, he's... Oh no, actually he went tier 2 and is adding Ravagers. So he's not going to go for the famous choo-choo train. And now we see Nova here sieging up with 1 armor on the lips. It's going to be enough. No, I think it's not going to be enough, but... Or is it? There's 1 Marine out of range just shelling at this lip. I think the lip will live, but 40 HP on that one. But it is air from Joe. Very interesting. Very interesting. And the 2 Ravens.
So we're seeing a T3 started from Hawkeye over there.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it does seem like Hawkeye's be going for some of those stores, I'd imagine, with this.
Looks like they...
Maybe BCs, but stores are a more, maybe, all-around solid unit. Because, you know, the BCs, their performance depends on what you're facing a lot, how you micro, and Thors just deliver no matter what. So we do see B here continuing pure Marine versus the air with 2 armor now from Nova. So I think Nova takes this battle quite handily. Yes, with 2 Liberators alive, we'll get the back siege here on the Marauders and will stack with Monkey. And Nova decides to siege and kill the Reapers first and will now be engaging the air. Yeah, this is a pain now. The 2 siege, the 2 leaked libs. Oh, don't know about that siege, so maybe can get some banes, but it would be better to hit the mutas a bit. And but that's a lot of Widow Mines, man. It's going to be a big kaboo here, kaboo. And yeah, all of the mutas do go down at the end. Thing is, versus this, you do need the Muta formation, and I think he does need some Banelings here. And yes, he is getting some. He's up to 5. But did he sell the Ravagers? Yes, he sold the Ravagers. He's opting for Mutas now and Baneling.
Yeah, ZVT is one of those matchups where if you get behind with Lings and stuff, it's pretty difficult to clear a leak plus your own wave.
Yeah, although Link Bane is so good versus Bio, you can even get away with some leaks if it's a Terran leak. If it's a Protoss leak, it's bad because the Stalkers can just blink in. But here, honestly, Euweb, if he had like 20 Banelings here, the handful of Marines that survived the wave, I don't know about those Mutas versus those mines, man.
I do think Hawkeye needs to start adding some other units though, because pretty soon...
He did finish tier 2. No, he didn't. He cancelled tier 3, and now he's making it again. He's gonna go Thors here for sure, I think. Or maybe, given the fact that Nova is pure air, he opts for a battle cruiser, so the BC can teleport and then tank the Marines for the Liberators. Okay, we do see here a Rebornbee being able to take the battle in the air, but the mines here, the cooldown is down.
Wow.
Okay, but a lot of bio on air action, and let's see it here. It's EskimoeJoe not being able to stop the bio either for now. But this is the time in the game where we need to start thinking about how long can the bio hold out. Not versus maybe killing the air, but versus killing the air in time. Because we see Nova's army here followed by Monkeygurly with nothing but Marines and Ravens to stack the air. And now Nova will have the Widow Mines here to tank, and this is a good siege here for Nova. That's a lot of Marines, but Nova picking them up, picking them off. The Marines do seem to be here in a good position, but the Widow Mines
came back
at the last moment. And one Liberator will survive here, and maybe pick up those Reapers again. And yeah, it's hard to see Joe here with Monkeygurly doing the, I think, correct choice here and following up the Marines with some Ravens versus the air and can do Matrix, and especially the anti-armor missile is devastating. And now we see Euweb adding Ravagers again. So he added Ravagers, sold Ravagers, and now is making Ravagers again. Yeah, the mutas go down in the explosion. Let's see the biles on the Thors. One Thor, no Thors go down. One Thor goes down.
Yeah, Thors just end up being so tough versus Ravagers later in the game. So
yeah, we see 3 Ravens here from Nova, and now the sieges are well, not the best actually. He was a bit too enthusiastic with the siege, and then he had to re-siege. He's doing a lot of damage here, and that's what I'm talking about. So if Rebornbee doesn't follow up with more Ravens or continues Marines here, there's a window before Thor. Yeah, go on.
No, I was gonna say I think B just finished with T2, so we got the +2 attack on the Marines.
Joe messed up the siege. This is gonna be a heavy victory for Gurly. Yeah, B did finish up, but let's see what B decides to make next, because will she follow it up with more Ravens, or will she make more Marines? Because Nova here is making Liberators, and I think in time Nova will be able to anchor on this, especially with the leak. I mean, it's not a big leak, and here Thors will engage the cannons, so won't do any damage to the Marines, but no, the sieges were a bit too early here as well, but yeah, the mines, the bombs actually, Reaper's doing here really well, and let's see this battle unfold. Nova seems to be in control here. I think he can siege on the right flank, yes, and a massive Liberator here, leak from Nova doing the job. Yeah, so maybe it's not as useful versus EskimoeJoe's air, but it's going to be Ravagers and the Zerg coming up next, and those 2 Liberators from Nova, if siege correctly, they can do heavy damage versus the Ravagers and the Zerg ground. Will we see 1 Ravager, and yeah, they eat the biles, but that means no biles on the Terran Ravagers.
Webb's got a lot of units here, though. Well,
yeah, but the Thors just kept +2 and +2 Thors. They two-shot Ravagers, so it's just not, unless you have massive numbers biling down on the Thors.
So we see
Nova here, yeah.
So B got +2 armor on the Marines, which, what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a complete waste, because the Liberators one-shot. Oh my god, the big sink of energy from Joe. But he was getting matrixed and killed off regardless. So let's see if now Euweb can clear this with this +2 on mutas versus the anti-armored army. The answer is going to be some with a no here, because the turrets ended up saving the red army from being the anti-armored army from being engaged by the mutas. So another victory for top team. Now picking off Marine by Marine here, of course each of them 1 hurts. And also there's a lot. Oh, we see a great siege here from Nova. He does need to cover his right flank a bit here. Re-siege he does. So this is beginning to be a real big problem here, because maybe now we're gonna see some lib on lib action. And yeah, this is gonna be this is canon here, guys, because the Liberators are gonna go down. Monkey casts the turrets, the Ravens are gonna go down, the cannon is gonna go down, and now Nova sieges his Liberators. They get biled down, but nothing else gets biled down, and now this is just naked Ravagers going versus the Terran. Angry mech with the 5 doors with upgrades in the background, now +3 engaging. And yeah, tall order now from the team and the player here, banking so much on the Marines being stacked upon here and leaked upon, and of course facing such a tough composition in that Lib Raven. If played correctly with pure bio, you just need the perfect engagement. Well, he did get a good anti-armor missile there, but And yeah, we see here Nova going straight for the throat of EskimoeJoe's army. And the turrets are doing the job, but the energy from the Ravens has been spent. The Liberators have been killed, and now just Monkey has an easy cleanup. I just don't see the triple Terran team losing it at this point.
Yeah,
Maybe
once
yeah, do you think the Ling Banes would have been a better option here, just steamrolling the Terran, because early game is where they needed to press. Because as soon as stores get out, if you're not in a massive charging Zerg army, just mowing down everything like the Dothraki on an open field. And yeah, we can see the Thors even winning versus the Bios, versus Bio. If you don't have a massive Zerg army just rushing in with Ling Bane and Biles and Ultras, you're not going to be able to kill the Thors in time. So maybe the early game is where they should have went for a more aggressive approach. Well, we do see a stack here from Joe.
It is tough going Ling Bane early though, because you know, like Nova was pure Liberator to start, and the Lings are just gonna go die to the base.
Here, Thunder. So Joe stacked the libs, and now we see maybe the Thors are in danger here. Let's see the sieges. Oh, the siege is not the best on the Thors, but the Thors march in, and let's see this battle unfolding on here. No, the Thors are too strong. But maybe B can make something happen here, even though Nova has the upgrades, has the Raven numbers to buy time for the sieges. Yeah.
Yeah, so B has what, seven Raven, and those leftover Thors were able to pick off 5 of them, which is pretty tough.
Yeah, B needs to go Thor here and pray. But maybe that window he's closing it. We're at 14th minute and we see Joe here before dying firing the anti-armor missiles, but kind of get the feeling it's too little too late here, honestly. So triple Terran for the win here, it would seem. We see here the Thors tanking so many Marine bullets because of the +3 armor versus the +2 attack. Of course, the number of Marines that survive, their only purpose is for Nova to siege the Liberators better, and yeah, the Liberators got Matrix, but that means no energy on Joe's Ravens, and we see now Nova's Ravens killing Joe's potential stack in the making. This is a lot of damage, guys, and the turret volley is ready, and it will kill even more of the Zerg, and anti-armor missiles go down. Just terrible yellow and green Raven stack here will open the cannon right up for the Thors to come in and maybe begin the siege. That's a lot of Marines, but that's a lot of Thors too. And some Widow Mines go off. Yeah, it's so much damage. Remember, Thor's one-shot Marines. Yes, I was right. I like being right in these things when I anticipate what is going to happen. Anyway, yeah, the Thors, +3 Thors, good unit. So the score is 1-0 to the Pyjama team. Oh no, but we agreed, team. And the Pyjama team rocking the triple Terran is going to be our team spawning top. We see 2 players going tier 2. It is Hawkeye again going tier 2 and Rebornbee. So the Zerg is actually going tier 2, so maybe I'm wrong and maybe it ends up being some Ravager play. But as Hawkeye is going tier 2, that's the correct choice from Rebornbee to follow it up, because tier 1 Zerg cannot counter the Terran Air. Interesting, B went for two roaches and then sold them, so she will only be spawning with one Zergling. And they did win the middle here, so slight advantage to the bottom team starting this game up.
So it looks like Webb might be finishing up tier 2 here, probably expecting some libs from Nova again.
Yeah, but if Nova decides to go pure Marine here, and Euweb he likes to do this, 2 Marauders into pure Raven. The scan does go down on Euweb. Let's see if he does decide to make or not. He decides to make Liberators, which is the correct choice because Nova has pure Marines here. Does Nova have no, Nova is tier 1, so I mean 2 Liberators and 2 Marauders is not gonna be enough to stop the Marines here. But we were correct in the fact that Nova did identify that stacking air in this situation would actually be quite difficult for him. So he does decide to open bio. We see the same thing from Hawkeye deciding to answer the Ravagers with Hellbat. Widowmine, and so far, yep, the shotgun does go down. Will the middle Widowmine get a shot up? It seems so. Taking out another Ravagers, and it's just 15 HP on the Ravager remaining. The Reapers are going to shoot at that one.
So I'm not sure if this Hellbat mine build is going to work as well as last game.
Yeah,
not having
but
wings.
Monkey decides to switch the table up and play mech here, so... And Joe kind of being a bit, although they did get the cannon, kind of being caught with his pants down here, and we'll see the damage that the fact that the Monkey's air is here leaking and damaging Euweb, how much of a factor that's gonna be. And yeah, he did force the siege, and now the Liberators are gonna get taken down. We see some Banelings here dropping. But yeah, with the leak, maybe not the best. Hawkeye didn't make anything this round, so this is gonna be a loss for her. Yeah, she is covering 400 minerals. We see an unfortunate miss siege here from Gurly, and yeah, she's not going to be able to win here, leaking into Nova's Marines. Yes, Nova... Why does Nova have 1 armor? Yeah, anyway, no chance versus Euweb here.
We have a 4-minute Thor out from Hawkeye.
Yeah, 4-minute Thors, man, but as we know, the Thor is a tricky unit to deal with, and the Liberators are still tier 2 here.
Yeah, I think with Bunker down and a Zerg winning pretty cleanly, it's going to be tough for those Libs to get anything going here from Monkey.
Yeah. I mean, Monkey does have a Zerg leak here. So maybe she can, upon hitting tier 3, maybe she can stack a bit of units. She does have only 7 Reapers and the rest is in Liberators, so we would be expecting her to be following this up with some early tier 3. We see Joe going tier 2. So he has enough of Marines. He'll start adding Ravens to his composition. Okay, now the Thors are going to kill the Liberators here, but we see a lot of Mutalisks here barreling down on them. Thors, and not even a Lib does survive and will be doing some area of attack and damage to the Monkeygurly Liberators alongside the Mutas. Some unfortunate sieges, some vials, some shots from the Mutas and some shots from the Libs, and those Liberators are going down, unfortunately, for the top team. Okay, so we see the triple Terran not working for now this game, which of course we can as casters root for. Some close series, and yeah, this is the phase of the game where when you're behind and you're going Marines versus air, given the fact how the battle tip just moves after a while, if you are behind, you can lose it quite devastatingly, because if it's like 10 libs and you lose 6-7 of your Marines, and then 10 libs shoot, and after 3 shots it's like 30 Marines dead. Or okay, some libs fall, but it's like 25 Marines dead, and you find yourself giving your team a huge leak to face. And we see exactly that scenario unfolding here for Nova, as he's trying to stop Euweb's 7 Liberators here, accompanied by some Ravens. So it's the classic Liberator Raven versus Bio Raven combo. But you know, it's just not what's only better, it's if Marines win, so okay, a couple of Marines survive and they go on, but if Liberators win and stack, it's just so devastating.
Yeah, I mean, I think B did a really good job in his ZVT matchup this game. Those Hellbat mines are really doing almost nothing at this point.
Yeah. The siege of the base has begun here. The shields are down, and see the base taking some shots, getting going down to 75 HP percent, 75% HP. Nova here, of course, with no chance versus the. But yeah, Joe kind of indecisive here. Does he want to siege? Does he want to try and kill the air and then doing some clumsy mix? But you see the Zerg army is so big, and yeah, you just. Okay, so we do see tier 3 here from Monkey, but the problem is she doesn't have anything like a battle cruiser or something to siege for those libs, and she's deciding to ignore the mutas and focus on the ground units. Not gonna be in time. But also, I mean, the next player, so Nova should be front right, not left back, if Monkey's ever going to stack here. Yeah, Euweb just doing massive damage on those Thors. Liberators. The Liberator versus Thor dynamic is very interesting. Thors have they have the same range on each other, but you can do a lot of damage if you have like a clump of 7-8 Liberators in a corner, and you just liberation zone the approach line. And yeah, not even Thors can stand up to eating 7-8 shots at once from the lips, and then they get taken down. Liberators timing out. Yeah, he just Yeah, Euweb really delivered for the bottom team this game. Just perfect air control, performing it flawlessly for now, stacking, leaving units alive, just manipulating the battle so well for his team and opening up the base for an assault here. Will the Mutas and the Biles, where will they land? Will they shoot the base? The Liberators actually from Gurly killed the Ravagers, so no Biles here, and the Muta number has fallen down, and Euweb's Liberators here doing some damage to Gurly, but it's only 4 Lips surviving here, and the first door is out from B. It is going to be a stack here, but again, there's not much from Euweb on the ground the Liberators can kill, so...
There are a lot of Ravens surviving in the back there, though, which could be good. Not a lot of energy, though.
Yeah, but they still tank. Okay, this is interesting because the Thor's killed here. Let's see the mine shots. Well, some connections here, but yeah, the Zerg should win this at the end, but it was touch and go there for a while. Yeah, if they had some amazing mine connections, it would actually be really tough. And now a clever dodge from Monkey to dodge the Bile position, but
he did land a lot of good Biles there, though. On the, I think he got the Thor and a few of the Liberators from Monkey, so fairly effective. So I'm not sure if Hawkeye does Liberators ever, but looks like B's got some Ultras out now, but I think some Liberators from Hawkeye would have been good a little bit earlier to help with that Zerg.
Yeah, well, Hawkeye can play Libs, I've seen her play before.
Okay.
But just not opting to get them this time. Well, yeah, we just see more of the same unfolding here. Liberator stacking, the Zerg barrage continuing, and as we're approaching the 15-minute mark, the window for the top team is closing. And GG, so one game apiece. Thunder, you here?
Yeah, well played by the bottom team. I think they had a little bit better strategy that game.
Okay guys, let's get ready for game 3 in this best of 5 round of 8. We see the situations flipping, so it will be the other team trying to play triple Terran and the other team trying to break triple Terran. But instead of the game before with a Zerg, they'll try to do it now with a Protoss. So let's see if in this situation where the Protoss is on the 2nd position, will a Rebornbee decide to go air and try to stack? No, we see Euweb going tier 2. Very interesting, as he would have a Terran stack in this situation. A Terran leak, sorry. In this situation, that being Hawkeye, who is spawning before Euweb's air. And from the bottom team, we have from the top team we have Nova going tier 2, so they will be clashing in T2 versus T2 TVT.
So normally here would we see maybe the third position going Liberator versus like to try to stack off the Protoss, or just the person straight up against the Protoss?
Yeah, but we're not gonna see that this game, so we see
yeah, I know, I'm just asking normally what would be the optimal.
Yeah, so here we see Marauder Reaper on both sides, but B being more Marauder heavy. More Reaper heavy, sorry, with 4 Reapers to 2. It would seem that that would prove to be the better combination as they take the battle and the middle. And yeah, I mean, what we were saying about it being bad for Nova to stack on Terran, that, oh no, the turrets were completely unneeded, Nova. You could have just matrixed and stay there and then fire anti-armor missiles at this bio army, and now you're gonna get nothing. But she will separate the forces from the Terrans, so this should be a win for Monkeygurly here, who did make the +1 armor, and given the fact it's pure marine, this should be a victory for the Protoss here. And Joe not having the combat shields or stim, so he's saving to make more marines next wave and researching the upgrades in field. But yeah, the cannon here is going to be in a lot of trouble here. So many marauders with stim pack, and yes, let's see how Euweb decides to play this now. No matrix? Yes, matrix. So matrix comes down on 2 stalkers, 3 stalkers. Yeah, let's see how Nova decides to respond here. So Nova is waiting as well. Nova doesn't want to, but now Nova, you have to shoot the turrets and the anti-armor missiles. Nova decides to just matrix the Ravens and not anti-armor, okay, but let's see now. So the hallucinations are revealed here. The turrets go down. Will this be enough? 2 more turrets go down. The Marines still plenty alive, and they are just tipping the scales here. So maybe a mistake from Nova not anti-armoring that, because the Matrix does nothing here. The Raven's still alive, and they cast the turrets, and the TVP is quite a long battle. So the Matrix from Nova not really optimal there.
Yeah, and those leftover turrets from Web help out so well on that PVT. They just tank those Adepts while the Marines take them out.
Yeah, so 2 waves in a row, Nova had the opportunity to stack and fire anti-armor missiles, but decided in the first wave casted the turrets, and on the second wave just wasn't able to pull it off. And yeah, we see an anti-armor missile from Euweb here coming on a part of the army. Let's see how the turrets are this time, and it would seem that they would be amazing here. Nova, are you gonna fire? He does fire 4 turrets, but most of the Protoss army is dead at this point. Certainly a less intimidating stack than the one bottom team had. But now, will these 4 Marines be able to kill Nova's libs? The turrets do go down, 1 lib survives, and it does seem like Hawkeye does have the upper hand here with even 1 stalker in tow. Let's see the usage of the energy here. Matrix. Yes, this is the correct way to play. So Euweb just sits now. No, the turret isn't needed here, but okay, he can kill the stalker. Now let's see. This is the key battle here. Oh, Nova a bit late on the turrets. They are not that forward, so no turrets will be firing on Euweb, and Nova decides for the Matrix wave as well. I don't know, man. I think even with the anti-armor here, I think Monkeygurly is in a lot of trouble here, because the turrets have landed, and it's, what is this, 6 Ravens? 7 Ravens. So, yeah, and no anti-air here, and Nova is aware of the fact, drops down turrets to help the oncoming bio, and they're gunning for the Terra now. Nova timed it so that the second turret wave just comes here, and yes, he does throw down turrets, and the cannon does go down.
So Monkey did just finish T2. We'll see if she had some Templar for the Ravens and Storms on the Marines.
Yeah, but now the triple Terran team, when winning, this is a tall order. I mean, sure, theoretically the Protoss can stack something here on the Ravens, but the Ravens are no pushover. Turrets do a lot of damage, and the anti-armor missile is nasty, and the Matrix just disables your unit, so... Okay, just have to answer the doors. Just be a moment.
So we do have a bit of a restack here from the top team.
Yeah, that's the
Raven
game.
Some good storms. Well, one good storm. There are so many Marines.
Yeah, I was waiting to see when the turret volley will be coming down, and it came down too late for the top team, so no money for Nova here. And the B should be able to clean this up, no problem. Both Terrans on third position are still tier 1, so just opting for pure units here. But B just being much more marine heavy.
Well, B did get T2, +2 attack there, which allowed him to clear it up pretty quickly.
Yeah, you see here Nova doesn't have the benefit that Euweb had while stacking, so he just waited up the encroaching Terran army. Oh, Nova eats a heavy Matrix volley here, and this is gonna be utter carnage with a lot of Liberators here surviving. And yeah, the storms and the feedbacks do go down, but the Marine numbers haven't been lowered down sufficiently, and just EskimoeJoe barreling down and killing everything in his path, baiting out Hawkeye's Reaper bombs, and now there should be no problem for B just owning this battle and giving Nova another hard time. So that was what I was talking about at the beginning. So if it's gonna be Nova playing air, look at this army now. So there's Marines and Marauders, and there's a Raven which can fire an anti-armor missile, which that did happen, and it did happen again now. Nova eating 2 of them. And we can expect B to be making more Marines and or Ravens, and eventually taking up the doors, and then it's going to be lights out for Nova trying to stack those heavy Raven numbers on the Terran.
So we saw Monkey add 2 disruptors, but I think against that pure Lib Raven, they just kind of want to go forward, and they either get picked off by Libs or turrets, and unfortunately don't do too much.
Nice play here from Euweb. So this is what we were talking about. So as Rebornbee is much more marine heavy, Euweb can just afford to levitate above the Reaper Marauder, not taking any damage and stacking for the next wave, and this is exactly what happened here, and this could have been dicey if his units didn't time out. But again, nice precast on the turrets. He eats the feedback and the storms, but now, given the fact that all of the Templar energy has been spent, all the Adepts and the ground units have been killed, there's no chance in hell for Monkeygurly to challenge Joe's army anyway. And yeah, is there gonna be another turret volley? Some sieges? I honestly think the cannon could be in trouble here, guys, because Euweb is not using the Ravens. He has to now, no. Let's see this now. Oh, the turret's going down so amazingly fast to these +2 bio units. And even with the base helping out here, it's just so many units. They do get a stack here, but let's see now what Euweb can do. Any anti-armor missiles, Euweb? No. Just he will do the damage he can, and that's it.
So a couple disruptors did sneak by on the side there. Took out a lot of Marines.
Yeah, Nova did stack actually a lot of Ravens here. They are empty at the moment, but now with Hawkeye coming, if he clears the ground. Let's see this now. So remember, there's a lot of Marines in Rebornbee's army. And yeah, the fact that Hawkeye has no Marines here ended up hurting them, as the stacked air from Nova just wasn't present during the battle, and now Nova arrives, sieges and deploys turrets, but is it too late?
Joe's Vikings were able to occupy those stacked Libs and Ravens for almost that whole battle for B, so that helped them out a lot.
Now. The second volley of turrets, Euweb. Okay, yeah, this is devastating for the Protoss. There is just not enough punch. It's so adept heavy here. It's over 10 adepts. The disruptors, yeah, one of them landing, the other not. But yeah, this is just disgusting stacking from Euweb here. And yeah, well, this is crunch time, 13 minutes. So the next 5 minutes are the kind of window you would want to make a comeback stack happen. We see just one gas on the field from the bottom team. That's why we didn't say anything about the gas, but yeah, the anti-armor coming down on Nova, and yeah, Nova just has to stack on Marines and Ravens, and it's just almost impossible to do and to see. And the next wave is air mech, so that makes Nova's stack that much less effective. Euweb playing this beautifully out. Yeah, carriers are out starting to work on that Lib Raven, but they will not be able to survive and stack here with Hawkeye's army, maybe in the future, but this wave not. And we see 4 Liberators from Euweb, both with double digits or almost double digit kills on them. Just behind that Raven wall, doing tons of damage. And is this the game? This could yes, this is game, guys. I don't see a way they could stop this. The turrets are dead. The bio is barreling down an army, and 2-1 for team. But we agreed, so after going 1-0 or 0-1 down in the first game, they managed to win the next 2 games and are now on the cusp of taking this series. Of course, taking the 2-1 lead is always great in a best of 5.
So we got B versus Monkey in position 1. Webb versus Hawkeye in the middle lane, and then we got Joe and Nova in the 3rd lane.
And we see Euweb and Nova both going tier 2. So the second position player on the bottom team and the 3rd position player on the top team both going tier 2. The others seem to be opening Reaper and Marauder now. Yeah, very interesting here. No gas on any team.
So it looks like Joe's playing it a little bit safe with Marines in case Nova decides to go air.
Not Nova, I mean Hawkeye? No, sorry, Nova. Yeah. But no units from Nova yet.
Right.
Yeah, about the meta, well, with players like Greed and the David Master missing from action, we see a kind of under-representation of Zerg.
Right.
And especially among the absolute premier players, there aren't many Zerg players. There are players which can play Zerg on top of playing some other races, but Zerg players. Okay, we see here two Liberators gonna, together with the Marines, make short work of the air. Euweb being very, very good with those Liberators, and if he can siege here before the cannon gets him, which he did, he will get more free kills here. So very well done. And now there will be no way for Gurly to win this. Okay, Hawkeye Pure Marine is going to take that Liberator out with you losing one Marine. Has a five Marauders here to contend with. Decides to use the stim here. And let's see now Euweb sieging versus these Marines. So nice using the turret to very nice actually using the turret to divide the Marines into two armies, so they don't gang up on the air all at once. Nice trick. I'll remember to do that as well. Euweb is really good. He also plays StarCraft regular ladder in Masters League. Also was Grandmaster for a while, so he knows his StarCraft, you know.
Yeah, he definitely got to have a good micro to get that high, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and I see him being able to pick up builds and pick up some small he always tries to do no matter how difficult it may seem or situational, he always tries testing out some stuff that the top players do. And other top players. Euweb is absolutely a top player.
Yeah.
And then he thinks about it as well, and his palette is quite broad, I would say. I'm of course speaking from a position of being completely the opposite. Being completely useless as Zerg, and I'm able to play Protoss at I would say average in-house level, somewhere around there. So
Nova was able to keep a lib alive for the next wave, which was pretty devastating.
Yeah, and it's the siege.
A lot of Marauders on the cannon here.
He decided to, it's going to die actually. And, let's see now, how long will it take for Eskimo to catch up to Euweb? And guys, we have another stack here, and this one is huge. It is 6 Liberators, and there is no anti-air from Nova except one Lib, which will have to siege as well. We see Marauders be gunning down, and come back here. Not sure how long it will last, as crazy as the 6 Terrans are, and maybe we're not as familiar with the stack dynamics and timings in this matchup. as opposed to some of those that we see happening all the time. But yeah, advantage bottom team for sure, and props to Euweb being able to anchor the libs on the Marines and surviving until Hawkeye came. So, as a wise man once said, it's not just about killing your opponent's army, it's killing your opponent's army in time. And right. That was said by me, and we know I am very wise, so you should listen to that. I'm kidding, but yeah, you need to take into account that the real strength of the mech is not fighting, it's stacking. So
yeah, pretty much any unit in direct strike that you can kind of manipulate where they go or what they're doing they're very valuable, of course. So like stalkers and Ravagers and of course Liberators and Ravens, just because you have some more control over them.
You add value, you add to their base cost, so you manipulate the cost value ratio, making them super useful. And that's one of the basis of build creation and coming up with strategies to see which units can be exploited in a way that you get the most out of them. And then utilizing that too. So the perfect example is the Liberator versus the Marine. So on paper the Marines should kind of win that. But then if you siege well enough, if you do all the correct things, get the armor, do all the things necessary to increase the base value of the Liberator, you can win, or you can either live long enough to stack.
Yep.
And then...
And like we saw Webb doing earlier, you know, he just throws a turret off to the side to take advantage of the attack move really from the Marines, and they're distracted while the libs are sieging, and then by the time they go after the libs, there's a big siege zone, and they're getting picked off already.
Maybe even put the Raven a bit more back, and then throw the turret quite far away, because in some games, in the late game, I remember playing with Euweb once, and he asked me, well, we see now Monkey adding Marines. Monkey, I think you need Thors here, not Marines. Anyway, he asked me, do I want him to blink on the side? And then we tried it, and it was the perfect scenario for me coming with the air mech, because he elongated the battle line and spread their army out, and I was in the opposite corner, so he was blinking on the side away from the place I was sieging libs. And then part of the army followed him there, part of the army engaged me, and then I was able to stack. So, but that was a huge army on a grand level. But here we see the same concept on a much smaller scale with the use of the turret. Even though Ravens aren't what you want versus Marines. Interesting, definitely. I would say you have proven here on the field that it's good to perhaps add one.
Yeah, it's just so hard to get a stack going with all these Terrans. It's, you know, if there's a Protoss, it takes a while to kill the Ravens and the Libs, but Marines just mow down everything, and Terran doesn't really have any units that cover well like Mutas or Stalkers blinking forward.
Well, when people were discussing, it was actually after the GDSL finals, that the ones we lost where I played with Joe and agreed, people were talking about, and Jerzel was talking about nerfing the Liberators, so increasing the cost to like 250 because it is so devastating, and if it stacks blah blah. And then I told him, if you nerf the cost of the Liberator into oblivion, you're going to have really stale games where you'll kill the stack potential, and then you kill the comeback potential, and then you will have just one-sided games being decided by who gets the early advantage and just moving the victory home with superior numbers. And that would be, of course, very boring. So I think the Liberators, with the Muta being at 75, I mean, the Lib is very good, and 220 is not, or rather 225 is not expensive, but you do need upgrades for it. So versus Marines and versus Zerg, you need armor. Versus Protoss, you need +2 attack, and you also need armor. So, and then you need +3, and then you need Ballista. So there's 1k in upgrades there, and it's not a cheap sport. Before Liberators get really good, when you spend the amount of damage the amount of money you have to spend on them, which is around 1k, you will see that you pay the mentioned 250 per Liberator when you calculate the complete army cost. And
yeah, it'd be interesting to see if there'd be a way to get like a Zerg to stack, because you know right now Broodlords are pretty much useless in most matchups, especially if there's a Terran, and they're expensive. You know, they're only 25 minerals less than a Thor, only 25.
No, but the Thor is the problem. Any kind of Broodlord player would just be killed by the Thor. And
exactly,
there's no potential for the Broodlord, like with the Liberator, to just siege on the Thor and kill it. A Broodlord killing a Thor, that would take like
an hour.
Day. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
and it's
yeah, but I want to explore actually heavy Swarm Hosts play versus Protoss as Zerg with on the late game. So I've seen crazy scenarios where Swarm Hosts ended up making the stack inevitable from them.
Yeah.
And maybe that can be explored a bit by the Zerg experts, I don't know, but apart from the Swarm Hosts, Protoss has nothing except Blink. It's except Blink and the situation where you don't stack per se, but you just force yourself with carriers and exploit maybe some low anti-armor, anti-air numbers or something like that. But when it comes to stacking the style that you stack Stalkers or Liberators, Protoss doesn't have that kind of
yeah. And just Thor, I mean, Thor relatively cheap for how good they are, I think. I mean, they have incredible range, armor, high DPS. They're just, they just shut everything down.
Yeah, the Thor at 400 is a bargain, honestly, when you take into account the BC's 500. And I'd say the Thor is more versatile in its use. It's much less likely to get Matrix by a Raven or shot down by just... You know, there are a lot of sharp units in the air. There are Vikings and cheap Corruptors and stuff, so the BC has much less game time, I think, to do its damage, being priority one target, as opposed to the Thor, which usually gets engaged last after everything else dies. So the Thor can provide much more sustained damage over time, and the game is played in a way that the Thor has much more potential to stay alive and do the damage you expect to do for the cost you paid.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they tend to stay alive long enough to stack also. And if you know, even if you have a Thor with 1 HP, if it stacks, it's like you reset it getting attacked last again. So super valuable.
Yeah, interesting. No, No gas from the top team. Only one gas from Monkey.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think at this point, with all those Thor, all those libs, ton of bio, not much chance to come back here.
Curtains here, Euweb is controlling the Liberators superbly, and anti-armor showering down on Hawkeye's army, just making any kind of stack play here impossible, and the Nexus or the Planetary Fortress is under attack. Is it gonna go down? Yes it is. So we have a 3-1 here from team, but we agreed